Hello, BookTube. I'm back with the second part of the box for DVDs. I'm sort of shooting this back to back in order to get the box done and out of the way. Uh, so let's continue on here. Um, this is something that is quite nice. It's a bit of a bootleg. This was done at a British Film Festival in Leicester that I attended, and the Brothers and Neil Brand did the music to "The Beggars of Life," and somebody actually just filmed it with a camcorder off the screen, and it's not as bad as it sounds, but it was the first time that it was sort of played, and uh, when the Dodge Brothers doing the music, and it was actually quite fantastic. It just worked really, really well, and I have fond memories. So I'm really glad to have this. The person who made it for me um, has since passed away, so it does hold um, memories for me. And there's another one in here as well, but they were both done at the 13th British Silent Film Festival in Leicester. So I'm very pleased to have that. That I'll never get rid of. Oh, I already did those. Ah, yes. This is Land of the War Canoes, a drama of coactal life in the Northwest. It's with written and photographed by Edward Curtis, the guy who photographed all the natives, the massive was it 10, 12 volumes. So we're getting back into books here. So there is connections. But this is just a fantastic film, and I don't think that it'll show up anywhere else. Um, and there's not much else in here for extras. I don't think there's anything extra. It was done in 1914 in Canada. The Land of the War Canoes is called. It's Image Milestone, and yeah, there's no booklet or anything or any extras on this at all. But it's just great to have that. So that'll be something. I'm not getting rid of many here by the looks of it. So, oh well. Here's another Image one, The Blot, filmed by Louise Weber, starring Claire Windsor and Calhern. Let's see, because yeah, this is a female director, and this is, well, she lived from 1881 to 1939 and was the outstanding woman filmmaker, writer, and producer of the silent era. She was also one of the highest paid directors, man or woman, of her time. So there was a time, and there were many female directors. Not as many as male, obviously, but there's Alice Gay Blanche. Is sort of a big name. Most people will know, and probably more than Lois Weber. There's a commentary. Yeah, there is a commentary on here by Shelley Stamp, uh, Lois Weber scholar and associate professor, film and digital media, University of California, Santa Cruz. So, but there's no other booklet. It's 1921. It's an hour and a half, 91 minutes. It's just got a scene selection card in here. So there's nothing else in there with this. But chances are this is not in Blu-ray. So again, that'll be hard to part with. All of them I think will be, but there'll be a few that hopefully I can get rid of. Another Cecil B. DeMille. I do like his, and I like looking at his silence. It's called Manslaughter. It's like it says, it's challenging this screen's limits of screen sexuality in the silent era, and he got away with stuff that you wouldn't have been able to get rid of away with in like the mid late 30s. And there's lots of things like that. This is 1915. It's an hour long, 59 minutes. And no, sorry. And the manslaughter is 1922. It's 100 minutes, and then it's got the cheat in here as well, which is 1915. But it's also Cecil B. DeMille. And uh, trying to see if I don't think there's any extras in here at all as well. I think it's just a straight up film. I don't think there's no booklet. Image never really, or this is Kino. They never really did booklets. A second, everything tipped over here. Okay. Now, this is quite interesting. Mitchell and Kenyon. They were, is it Manchester or, oh, I forget. It could be Manchester, somewhere up north in England here, or northish in England. Um, Come on, I wish they would say. But anyway, they went around. They were early sort of British filmmakers, um, and they went around to various places in the UK and in Ireland during the Edwardian era. I'm just trying to figure here. Oh, Blackburn. They were from Blackburn. I can't remember where that is then. But anyway, and when they were renovating the building, they tore out a section of the wall, and they found these canisters of film that were sort of unknown. And what they did was they went around to the various places in the UK and in Ireland. They shot people coming out on the street, and then charged them to come and to see themselves on the screen. And they did all sorts of things. They did Ireland here, which is stuff. This was done in, we're talking, 1901 to 1906. So it's early stuff. It's 75 minutes, and this is all their Ireland. And there's a commentary as well. New music scores by Neil Brand and Gunter Buchwald, who are great film historians, and I've been able to get them to sign these other ones that I had because I didn't know what was happening. I'm not sure how this one slipped out, but I had like a few dozen that I sent off back to Canada to a friend of mine, just in case I didn't know what was happening with my life. So I wanted to keep those separate. But yeah, this is signed, so that's a definite keeper. And yeah, so it's they did sort of semi-documentary stuff. They just sort of shot the turned the camera on and let people go by, and then charged for them to watch. This is Faust, F.W. Murnau's Faust that I had mentioned. This is the Kino version, American version. Again, no booklet with it. There are additional scores. There's a documentary on here. I'm not sure if there's a. Oh, there's an essay by film historian. Yeah. So this is why I had multiple copies of stuff. I sometimes had 4 or 5 different copies because Kino would put something out. They would have a commentary on it, and then with someone really good, and then Criterion might put out something, and they'll have commentaries and an amazing booklet with essays. And then BFI might put something out and have a different commentary on it. And then Eureka Masters of Cinema would put something out with, again, different commentaries. And they were all, because I was, especially for favorite films like this, I bought and collected them all. But I no longer have them all. But I still have some of them. And this is the one here because Faust, there was two. Is this what I'm thinking of? Um, Two versions or version films. Oh, okay, yeah. There's alternate versions that was made for this. This is 1929, 27. No, it can't be 1929. It's 1926. But there was an alter as well as a lengthier alternate cut prepared by the UFA Studios in 1930 that's included here. That may or may not be included on other ones. You don't get that too much. Well, I suppose you do. Like they are coming out with new versions of even more contemporary movies. Like I just seen another sort of box set of Star Wars, so they're going to have extra stuff and they'll have extra things. So I guess they're similar, but it's just when they restore older films, and to me it makes more sense because the commentaries are really good on these. I sort of dislike the commentaries that have the cast sitting around going, "Oh yeah, do you remember that day we got drunk?" I could care less, to be honest. It's the ones that are more detailed that I really like. Here's another one talking about Shakespeare. Okay, the more books. Shakespeare on Silent, Emil Jennings, Werner Krauss, and Lila Deputy. We've come across her already. This is 1922, Germany, directed by Dmitry Bukwatsky. Uh, and with supplementary features, four silent Shakespearean shorts, dual scenes from Macbeth, 1905, Taming of the Shrew, 1908, Romeo turns bandit, 1910, and Desdemona, 1911. And there's an essay by Douglas Brody. Now, yeah, that's going to be essay in. It's either I can't remember whether it's a audio essay or that you read it on a PDF from there, on off the DVD. This is kind of interesting. The Boris Karloff Silence, The Bells. It's inspired by a poem by Edgar Allan Poe. The restoration is not the best. It is 1926, 68 minutes long, and well, it's got the big actor Lionel Barrymore as well, which was a good actor as well as Boris Karloff was. But this was directed by James Young, who most probably haven't heard of. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any extras on this at all. It's one of those snap cases which are kind of neat and collectible at times. You don't see these much anymore. Yeah. So again, that's not going to be, I don't think, in Blu-ray. This is Blu-ray. I'm sure it's come out because it is a masterpiece of animation by Lenny Reniger. Lottie Reniger, if I pronounce the name correctly. And it premiered in 1926 in Germany. It's The Adventures of Prince Ahmed. It's taken from Arabian Nights. There's a documentary on here, and there should be a little booklet. No, there isn't. There's no booklet with this one. Just a little title card type thing, but there's some extras on there, and it's sort of got cut out, shadowy type animation, but it's just quite amazing. This is Lubitsch. Ernst Lubitsch was a big. He wound up in the States as sort of a comedy musical type director, and did a lot of silence, and they were very well done. And this is his Lubitsch in Berlin, and this is Anna Boleyn. It was restored by the F.W. Murnau Foundation, Emil Jennings, and Henny Porten. This is Kino, Region 1 as well. I don't think there's anything extra on it that I can remember. And there's no booklet. Yeah, they were really, in the early days, they were really short on that kind of stuff, and I don't even know if they still do. This is Eureka again, Tartuffe. This is Murnau. And again, we're back to, uh, literature. Moliere, or however you pronounce his name. And this was done in 1925, released in 26. Um, it's got, well, Carl Freund again is the cinematographer, so just in that itself is worth watching. 16-page booklet with essay by R. Dixon Smith, big silent film historian. Let's see here. There's a documentary in it. I don't remember. Yeah, there's no. Um, DVD was loose. I don't remember a commentary on this. But yeah, and there's probably some Blu-rays because I think there's Murnau's. They've come out with Blu-rays for everything of Murnau pretty well, I think. Um, Lon Chaney, he's always fun to watch on screen. And here's two early ones: Victory and The Wicked Darling, directed by Maurice Tournier was a big director at the time, and Todd Browning was the big director for Lon Chaney and Dracula, actually, and that was supposed to have been Lon Chaney as instead of Bela Lugosi. This is Image again, so it's bare bones. I don't think there's anything else on here other than the two films, and that's it. Alexander Jachenko's Earth. And this also has Sergei Eisenstein's Benzene Meadow. And these are just, I'll just read the back here. This is better than I can do. One of the undisputed masterpieces of the cinema. No single viewing of Earth will ever reveal all of its poetic brilliance. The third in a triptych of films by Ukrainian director Alexander Jachenko after Zenagora and Arsenal in 1921, Zenagora and Arsenal in 1928. Is striking, simple, and plot. And so this is must be 29, 28, 29, I think 29. No, 1930 actually, sorry. And I do have, or I should have, or I did have the other two. I did have all three. But whether I still have them is another question. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. This is the Kino version, and I'm not sure. I have to look to see. Yeah, there's an audio essay in here, so that's fantastic. And I'll probably wind up keeping this, but I will be getting this in Blu-ray definitely. This was done in 1919. My memory isn't the best for some of this date-wise anymore. It's too small a print for me to see. It's around that time. It is. Let's see here. It's Image film. It's Region 1 again. It's too small a print, and it's too dark. But anyway, it's Ween. I'm trying to remember his full name. Robert Ween is the director. And it's got to be like 1919, 1920. I can't remember. Here's I don't have all of them. There was about 6 or 7 of these. Retour de Flame, and it's by Lobster Films, and it's just early films, early days of cinema. 16 of the rare short films, Leaving the Factory Train, Pulling into Station, Card Game, Louis Lumiere Talks, Stolen Jewels, The Raja's Box, Titanic, documentary about the Titanic in 1912, auto races in Venice, um, Meet Me Down at Coney Island, Chester the Fireman, and there's just just early cinema. So those are fun to watch to see where it goes, where it's developed from. And here's another Ernst Lubitsch in Berlin, and it is The Doll. This is from Doll. It's a play, I think, isn't it? Well, This they call it sex comedies. Lubitsch, Trouble with Paradise, and Designed for Living. The Doll follows the misadventures of an uh, effete young man. Um, sure, this is based on some play, but I can't see where it is here. But anyway, yeah. So it's, and again, it's just a plain DVD. There's no extras on it. Let's see what do we got here. Getting close to the end. The Battle of the Sexes. There's a D.W. Griffith again. Sort of his sex sort of ones that would not pass censors, 10, 15 years later. This is 1928. So this is definitely before the Hayes Commission. This is Image. It's one of those snap boxes again. Don't think there's any extras on it. It's just a plain video again. And we're nearing the end of the box. Again, Lubitsch in Berlin, Polo Negre. This is Sumerun. The U.S. title was changed to One Arabian Night. So it's from the Arabian Nights. And this Image, again, no special material. I don't think, no commentary on it. It's very just basic film. The Last Days of Pompeii. These are quite interesting. Sort of 1913, those Italian epics that are just quite amazing for the time. It's 88 minutes long. Directed by Mario Casarini, produced by Ernesto Maria Pasquale. It's from the novel by Edward Buller. So again, this is from a book. So we're related to books all the time. And it's quite visually stunning, especially for 1913, and risque at times, quite risque. So it's quite interesting. Again, this is Kino. There's no extras on this at all. I don't think either. Der Golem. This is Eureka. Again, this is just a very plain, basic one. So I don't think there's anything special about this restoration. So this will be something that I will get replaced at some point with a Blu-ray, because hopefully with a booklet and commentary and more information on. So that will be one on the potential to go pile eventually. This was kind of nice. The Ultimate Edition of Hunchback of Notre Dame, obviously again from a book, from Victor Hugo's book, and it has 3D spectacles in it, because there is sort of a three special features is remastered in high definition for an original multi-tinted print. New symphonic score compiled by David Huntsberger. Insert essay and optional audio essay through the film. Facsimile reproduction of 20-page digital souvenir program. Um, Excerpts from Alas and Alack, 1913 Universal film in which Lon Chaney plays two roles, one of them a hunchback, and behind the scenes footage. Can't remember what the 3D glass or the glasses were for. I don't remember actually using them. There's two of them here, but no, yeah. So this is again something that this will probably be one that I will be keeping for mostly the extras, even if I do upgrade it. Two left. This is from the Chaplin collection. Chaplin doesn't need any introduction. This is just shorts: Dog's Life, Soldier Arms, Pilgrim, Sunnyside, A Day's Pleasure, and The Idle Class, and Payday. It was the MK2 ones. I do want to replace all these with the Blu-rays, because the Blu-rays are apparently a lot better. Just two discs, just plain. There's no extras in these at all. Just the shorts. And that was MK2 was, I think it's region. I think it's region 1. No, it's region 2. Sorry. Oh yeah, here we go. Vintage holiday film, 1901 to 1925. Christmas films. A number of them. This is Kino. No extras again, but they're quite interesting to watch. You got A Holiday Pageant at Home, 1901. Winter Straw Ride, 1906 Edison Film Manufacturers by Edwin S. Porter, director who directed the train robbery one. A Trap for Santa, a biograph film, 1909, directed by D.W. Griffith, and with his usual cinematographer G.W. Bitzer. Christmas Accident, 1912 Edison film, directed by Burmeister Merwin and written by Annie Elliott Trumbull. The Adventure of the Wrong Santa Claus, An Adventure of Octavius, Amateur Detective, 1914, and it's Edison Film Manufacturing Corporation, written by Frederick Arnold Rumer. Santa Claus versus Cupid, excuse me, 1915, Edison Film, directed by Will Lewis and written by Alan Crossland. Santa Claus, 1925, Mr. and Mrs. E.E. Kleinschmelt, presented by A Christmas Carol, 1910, and it's just it's Edison Film Manufacturing, and Edison again filmed The Night Before Christmas, 1905, directed by Edwin S. Porter. So yeah, it's Edison who made a whole bunch of films right up until the teens. I think Edison did their first sort of Frankenstein film too. I think that was an Edison, if I remember right, but that was in the teens, I think. But this is, again, it's just, there's no commentary, nothing extra on it, which is a bit sad because it would have been nice to have a booklet with that for this. But that's it for that, and we're back at 30 minutes again. So an hour for the box. I'll upload these both now, and do let me know if you want me to continue, if anybody's interested in these, because otherwise, if they're not, then I won't bother. I'll just do sorting out myself. But I thought it'd be something a little different, and as I say, it is book related in a tangential way, but not directly. But anyway, I'll see you later, BookTube.